Gamesthetic episode 188. I'm Alex Live with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're listening or watching this show. So right out of the gate, full transparency. This might be a low energy show today. I'm just going to keep it real on that. I got John in the studio with me. John, how you feeling?
I'm here.
All right.
We'll talk about some stuff.
I agree. I agree, man.
It's about the level we are today.
Yeah. No, trust me. It's me too. It's one of those days. But we're gonna get through it. Zach will be here in a bit too, or he should, and based on what he told me earlier. So shout out to that. So we got the PS5 Pro that got announced this week. Cool,
Fucking dumb.
cool, I guess. We'll chat about that. Whenever Zach gets here, he was gonna chat about Bit Breakers, the new game.
We were gonna talk about it.
So you played it too?
Yeah, we duoed last night.
Oh, did you? I didn't know. I didn't see that you got on. I only saw him playing.
Yeah, we played for a little bit last night.
Okay, all right. So they're gonna talk about Bit Breakers. I thought only he played it.
We'll
so.
still wait for him before we dive into that because we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. And that is by the devs of Omega Strikers. If you've played Omega Strikers, they are back with this new game, Bit Breakers. So we'll chat about that later on. And I just had to throw something in there. So we're going to predict some notable games, Metacritic scores, and scores for the rest of the year. Because we talked about doing that 2 weeks ago, and I forgot about it. So here we are. We're going to do it this week. So shout out to that.
I don't remember talking about that.
I made a short about it.
I wouldn't have seen that.
You know what's sad, man? I tried my damnedest to make sure that one conversation with me and you got into your algorithm, right? Where it's just like, I was just scrolling and I just saw me and I'm like, why am I looking at me? And I made the comment, I'm going to make a short about this and hope it pops up in your algorithm. You know what sucks, dude? That week, I made 4 shorts from that episode, right? The other 3, they did fine. They took off, especially the Concord one. That was a hot conversation. They took off. They did fine. View count was good. Who knows? Maybe you saw one of them. That particular one, I even re-uploaded it to try to let it hit the algorithm, and it just would not hit the algorithm.
That's because you made it specifically for me. Of course, nobody's gonna care.
I mean, it did not hit the algorithm at all. 2 times. I downloaded it to my phone, re-uploaded it, still didn't hit the algorithm right. Every once in a while, I'll get a short like that where it's just like it just will not hit the algorithm at all. It's as if I didn't even upload it. It's like, what the fuck, dude? The others hit no problem. Like, no problem. They take off. But there's always that one every once in a while. It's just like, I'm going to be viewed by just you, and that's it.
Well, it's because most of the time it's about topics of conversation, and then occasionally you're like, I'm going to make one because we think it's funny.
Yeah, it is what it is. But, it is out there. So hopefully one day it pops up in your algorithm. You never know. Probably not, but it's possible.
My algorithm don't make no damn sense. Right? I looked at some YouTube shorts yesterday. Like, just went to my short page on my phone and started scrolling, and I'm like 3 in, I went, oh, these are gonna be worthless today.
Oh, you're just like,
it was one of those dead days where you're like, I just have to scroll until it gets good again.
Yeah, I feel you. I get like that sometimes on whether it's shorts or TikTok. I get like that where it's just like, the first few, it's like, all right, so this is where we're going today.
Yeah, it's like
this is
I literally opened it up. I went, how did we get here?
Yeah, trust me, I ask that sometimes too with my TikTok algorithm. I really question how the fuck I got there. Makes no sense. And then the thing that annoys me about TikTok just in general is like, so you'll get with like your algorithm, you will get like a video that's like, matches your kind of algorithm that you're watching at the time, something new you haven't seen. You might get something of a creator you follow. Then you'll get a sponsored post, and then you'll get a TikTok live. Then you'll get another sponsored post. Then you'll go back to stuff for you. And then you'll get another sponsored post. And you'll probably go back to another TikTok live. And then you'll get another post for you. It's like, come on, what are we doing? I mean, it's good promotion. TikTok's a phenomenal platform to grow. But it's like sometimes I just want to watch my stuff.
Yeah. I will say one thing before Zach gets here, before we get like into any other real topics. Let's go mainly before Zach gets here. Let's get it. I'm gonna get our weekly Black Myth segment out of the way.
Right.
Because I did go back and start playing it some.
Okay.
I did just go back. I'm in chapter 5 now. It was just the boss fight at the end of the chapter 4. It wasn't necessarily a hard fight. I just didn't like the fight.
It wasn't a fun fight.
No, it is very much just it. Like I said, it wasn't hard. It maybe took me 35 minutes or something of attempts to beat. It wasn't hard. It was just I did not enjoy it. It was not a fun fight for me. So it was one where like I'd put a few attempts in and I'd be like, I just don't want to. I don't want to fight this boss, and I'd set it down.
Right.
But I finally just sat down and was like, I'll just play it until I beat it.
Yeah. Now that you're in chapter 5, I guess it's a little bit of spoiler territory, but I mean, I feel like it's a few weeks past. People are either moved on from the game completely or beat it or whatever. What's the vibe of 5? 4 was the cavern spider area. What's the vibe of 5?
Fire.
Oh, great. Love that.
No, it's like, you know how every time you get into a new chapter, it's like, okay, well, in this chapter, we're going to be dealing with poison. In this chapter, we're going to be dealing with cold or lightning damage or something like that. Fire.
Okay.
It's like, so far, everything is fire-based.
Okay.
It's like, everything's got fire attacks, just fire raining from the sky. And, like, at least in little sections I've been in. So, yeah, it seems like this is going to be the fire level.
Wouldn't that little move you get from that serpent boss in chapter 1 be helpful then?
Probably.
Because doesn't that like reduce fire damage?
Yeah, I find myself not using those very often.
I love using it.
I only end up using those like in certain boss fight. Like I used it in the chapter 4 boss fight,
Right.
not the reduce fire one, which the one you get from chapter 2. Which those are the only 2 that I have. I haven't gone back to chapter 3 to do anything, and chapter 4 I just haven't gone back to yet. I got out of it and I was like, let's explore a little bit of chapter 5. I'll go back to 4 eventually.
Right.
But yeah. So yeah, it seems to be themed around fire.
Okay. All right. I have not gone back to Black Myth. I've recently got back on my bullshit and I'm playing Cyberpunk again. Same playthrough that I started forever ago, and for the first time, I'm actually into Phantom Liberty because I had still yet to play it because I really want.
I still haven't played it. I
haven't played it yet.
My last playthrough on my PC is like I think like 2/3 through most of the base game content, and then I think I'm in the final series because like. When you're doing the storylines for the different characters, I'm at where am I? I think I'm at like the storyline where you have to go through like the parade and that.
Oh yeah, of the main story.
Of the main story that like
story,
leads real quick into the end of the game.
Yeah.
I'm like there, and then I was also running around doing like 100% collecting and stuff.
Right, and if that's the case, you still got a ways to go because once you finish, if you remember, once you finish the parade and get the final mission, that's when you get like Johnny's missions and you get all of Carrie's stuff. So I mean, you still got a little ways to go on that.
Yeah, but also like I said, I was doing like 100%.
Yeah.
Running around trying to clear everything out. Plus, I was playing like quick hack gameplay, which is fucking.
Yeah, that's what.
It's very strong.
That's what Josh is playing. Josh is currently on Cyberpunk. Me and him been texting a lot, and that's what he's playing. But no, I mean, I'm just now into Phantom Liberty because like when I got the Ultimate Edition, I was deciding when to play Phantom Liberty. Like, should I just go reload my original save and just go play it? But I was like, I want to start a new playthrough. And it's like, when do I play it? And like, there is no time to play it. Like, it's like based on story. If you want to go play it as soon as you get it, go for it. But I saw someone's recommendation on Reddit where it's just like, I recommend saving it until like you're done with the base game and you're ready to beat it, and it be the last thing that you do. Because the vibe and the narrative of it really does feel like V is desperate and this is his last shot before going to Hanako. And I'll tell you, I'm only probably about 3-4 hours into Phantom Liberty. Totally get that vibe. Like right out of the gate, I totally get that vibe of, okay, yes, I can understand how this feels like I have no other options. Might as well try this. Because like the fixer, Mr. Hands, he's based there. And like he'll call you up. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing in Dogtown? It's like, what is wrong with you? It's like, how did you even get in? like Judy or someone will hit you up. It's just like, what do you mean you're in Dogtown? What in your right mind would make you go to Dogtown? So, no, it's pretty fun so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to playing some more later. I've just been running around doing a lot of gig work, just kind of messing around with Dogtown in that front, doing all of Mr. Hand stuff. But anyway, so John, you gonna buy a PS5?
I have a PS5.
PS5 Pro. You gonna buy a PS5 Pro?
Why would I ever want to do that?
That is the correct answer. That is the correct answer, my friend. Look, I mean, I guess if you're a hardcore PlayStation enthusiast and you're one of those dudes or like one of those people that's just like super, super hardcore about like the graphics and the output and like the power, then go for it. But I don't know who this is the target audience for.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Did
you watch the videos where they have and see the images,
Yeah,
side by side comparisons between PS5 and PS5 Pro?
Yep.
Am I blind, or are they showing me the same image twice and telling me that it's two different things?
I'm not going to say you're blind because there is a difference. There's just not a noticeable difference really to drive home buying something new.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
they're trying to be like, oh, it's like, look at the detail in this, because in one point of the video, I think they were like, this is my favorite way to show it off, and it's like, wow, it was like some level from like, what was it, like Ratchet and Clank or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is? Are a few pixels in the background slightly sharper? I don't get it. Like, I don't mean to completely like bash
Right.
the idea of a PS5 Pro, but also, I mean, there's absolutely zero need for it.
I feel like this generation there's not. Like we've talked about this ad nauseum almost. Like, look, last generation made sense. 4K was not readily available when Xbox One and PS4 launched, right? It became more readily available, more cost friendly for us consumers, whatever. Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, that made sense because it was the upgrade to 4K that became easier to obtain, cheaper to obtain. This makes no sense to me.
They're just doing it for this because they got used to doing it. They did it.
Yeah.
They did it in the Xbox One era. Mm-hmm. It's like they look at it. They're like, oh, well, there's a decent chance that like Microsoft might end up doing one. I mean, on that front though, they would need to do it more so than Sony. Not even for the Xbox Series X necessarily, but for the S.
Yeah, and the S, yes.
But like I said, there's one game that I've played on my PS5 that showed any signs of strain on it, and that was Black Myth. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I haven't played anything that I could have told you, oh yeah, this machine needs to be more powerful.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter. Nobody's utilizing all the power of the PlayStation 5 because most of the games are on Xbox anyway, and they got to optimize for the S.
Right.
So nothing is utilizing all the power.
Yeah, I mean, there's only been a few cases that really felt like, okay, this is kind of next gen, but it wasn't anything like groundbreaking per se. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Insta Switch fast travel stuff of Spider-Man 2, that had some next gen feel, but it's still just like that's not pushing the console's limits. You know what I mean?
No, that's quality of life more than anything.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, with this PS5 Pro, especially at a $700 price point, it's just like I don't know who this is in the market for, because it's like, I mean, you're gonna have a 2 terabyte SSD. That's cool. I have 2 terabytes right now because I can just go out and just buy an SSD or NVMe drive and install it. So shout out to that. You have the upgraded GPU, which is 67% more compute units than the PS5 and 28% faster memory. But like the big thing they keep harping on is like the advanced ray tracing. It's like, well, ray tracing is pretty, but like ray tracing is not enough for me to go buy a console.
Here's the other part of this. Like they list off these percentages. Like it's this much. It's 67% more powerful. It's 38% faster. numbers mean nothing. Because when you show me what are supposed to be your best examples of the benefits of moving to a PS5 Pro, and you're like, look at what it was and look at what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that sign in the background is slightly more clear. Tell you what, I'm never looking at that sign in the background.
Yeah, when
I want to know. I want what is in my immediate vicinity, and I don't. Yeah, I don't want the background to look like ass, but it looks fine. Looks great. I don't need it to be necessarily sharp. Or you think when I'm playing, I'm gonna be looking at the fucking leaves in the background,
right,
400 yards away? No, I'm looking at what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
It's like, yeah. I mean, it's fine, but it's like the listing off numbers that are higher for the sake of being higher, rather than it actually being a meaningful difference to gameplay.
Right.
They're just saying numbers at that point.
Right.
Which is kind of my gripe. Like, as you were reading it off, I'm like, hey, that means nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you're just saying you're telling your players and the people you're trying to market this towards what you tell your shareholders to, like, in your business meeting. It's like, well, it's going to be this much more powerful. That's why we need to make it. It's like, yeah, but do we need it to be that much more powerful?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Also, it's $700. Like,
right. Now, I will say this, and like I saw, some tech experts kind of weigh in on it too, and I agree with them. From what Sony built with the console and the price point, I mean, technically it is a good price based on the components that's in there, because like to get similar power, you would have to spend a pretty decent little chunk for a gaming PC if you went like a PC route, because a lot of people like to immediately look at that. But it's still just like in the console market, leave PC out of this for a second. I understand PC master race. I'm not going to argue with it. Leave PC out of it for a second. The console market, what we're saying is I just don't see, while yes, I agree, like based on the components that's in there, if you compare it to like PC parts, they made a hell of a good deal at a very powerful console. But in the console market, who is this targeted for? Like, it's just, enthusiasts, sure. But it's like there's not a substantial upgrade. Like, that was what made the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X make sense, is that it was a substantial upgrade. And even for this one, dude, it's kind of low-key pathetic in my opinion, because like one thing that, that they also are like touching on a little bit but not heavily promoting is that, oh, this has the ability to go up to 8K. Let's not forget, like, they promoted 8K with the PS5 Pro on the original box and then took it off the box because they weren't able to hit it. But it's still just like 8K is not readily available. Like, when the 4K thing came out in the last gen, again, it made sense. The 4K TVs were becoming more readily available and more cost efficient. I know me and you, I think both of us, we got like, good 4K TVs, at some point at good prices. I know me and another friend did too. It's like, they became, it may not be like the top tier brands like LG or Samsung, but they were still fine 4K TVs. And that's why those consoles made sense. This just doesn't make sense to me. Like, who is the target audience? Like it's like what you're saying. It's like when they're showing the side by side of the games, they're not showing anything to really drive home to warrant this. And then also on top of all of that, if you're like me and you like your physical games, like obviously there is no two bundles. It's a single bundle. Makes sense. I understand. The single SKU, they already started going that direction anyway. But then it's like you want to tack on the disc drive. It's like, dude, you're looking at like a $900 purchase probably after tax, if not closer to $1,000. Like, bro, what? Like, that's insane.
The other thing is, it doesn't, like the PS5 Pro, the only thing that like benefiting that is going to be for PlayStation developers. Like,
true.
First party PlayStation products are going to be the only ones that really benefit for it. Because like I said before, if it's going to be a multi-plat thing, they have to optimize it for the Xbox Series S, or they just won't release on Xbox. But which kind of seems to be more of the trend currently, where it's like, well, we don't know how to optimize for that, so I guess we're not making for we're not releasing for the Xbox until we figured it out. Right. It's kind of been the approach some people are taking, but it's also like, it is in a sense, who is it for? and everybody can ask why. I mean, every video I've seen of people like looking at the, like reactions to the announcements, everybody's just dunking on it.
Yeah.
Because again, this doesn't make sense. Is the biggest thing. Like you said before, PS4 Pro and whatever
1X.
whatever that's dumb as well. I mean, the naming from Xbox doesn't make any fucking sense.
They do whatever they want.
But for the previous generation, it made sense because if you looked at the technology from when the consoles were released to the end of that generation, it was night and day. But if you look at like the PS5 and Xbox Series generation, there's not as much advancement in technology as far as what you need. I mean, yeah, people, it's like you may hear like developers talking about, well, like along the lines of it's hard to optimize for this generation. It's I'll keep hitting that point home. It's because of the Series S. And as much as I love the Series S, and I'm glad that it exists, it should not.
It should not
It
exist.
We've made the point before. It was an excellent decision for the consumer, a horrible decision for everyone in the industry.
Facts. Because, the thing about the Xbox side of things, we can all agree that any sort of mid-gen refresh for Xbox is not happening because they've already got multiple SKUs coming out this fall. So it's like, it's not going to happen. We can see the writing on the wall. They have the new 2 terabyte Galaxy console. They have the Xbox Series X all digital. They've got the Xbox Series S that has like a larger memory. Like it's not happening. A mid-gen's not happening because if it was, they would have announced it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they really can do one because you would have to upgrade both.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you'd have to upgrade both, and it wouldn't solve the problem for the developer side of it.
No, it wouldn't.
Because
they still have to optimize.
I was going to say
the
they
series.
still have to optimize for the Series S, which is probably the console that's out there for the majority of Xbox owners.
Yeah, which if they would have actually gone that route, right, where they would have had like a mid-gen refresh for both, whatever. That dumbass prediction I made at the beginning of the year, where game upgrades were going to cost, that might have actually come true on the Xbox side because they had to optimize it. They would have to optimize it for both, or it's like, what's the point of the console? So, I mean, Xbox is not, they're not doing it because they can't, because they shot themselves in the foot with the Series S. Again, like what John just said, glad it exists, should not exist.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, that is the definition of like a consumer product that all developers hate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we shout out the one Suicide Squad dev, which, I mean, that's a different conversation in the game itself, where they're just like, man, I wish the Series S didn't exist. Just from an optimization standpoint. What?
It's just, I just remembered us talking about that.
Yeah,
and then my response just being, I mean, that had nothing to do with why that game failed.
That's true. And that's coming from someone who played it.
I didn't play Suicide Squad.
I thought you did. I know.
Zach played Suicide Squad.
I know he did. I thought you both did.
I wanted to play.
Oh, but you just didn't. Okay, my bad. Well, I know Zach did. So, but no, with the PS5 Pro, it's just like, I know, like, I saw some statements that they're expecting like 13 mil to sell, and I'm just like, I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know if 13 mil. Like, I understand
maybe
that.
lifetime.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if he'll hit that lifetime.
I mean, it will, because it probably will, depending on how long the generation continues to last for.
I mean, that's true.
Because eventually they'll just phase out the base model, and you'll only be able to buy the Pro.
Well, actually, I don't know, because I want to say they phased out the PS4 Pro where you could only buy the PS4 towards the end of its life. So I don't know. That's a good conversation there. I'm not sure. I will say, I mean, if you don't have a PlayStation 5 and you can dish out the money, then yeah, sure, I guess that's the one to buy if you have the money for it. But
I wouldn't.
I mean, I wouldn't, like, based on what I'm getting out of it, like, and especially if you're like me and you're a physical gamer, right? Like, I don't see the benefit of spending $700, really probably closer to $800 after sales tax, when I could probably do like, $500, $550, whatever. save some money, still get the same thing. Still play the things that I want to play. I'm not like what John says. Like, I'm not paying attention to the leaves in the background and how they look. I mean, if they look pretty, that's cool. Be good for photo mode, but
It's like as long as my PlayStation, like whatever games I buy for it, as long as they run smooth or relatively smooth,
yeah,
I don't have an issue with it.
I did see apparently Black Myth is going to be phenomenal in the PS5 Pro. So I guess
I don't doubt that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
This game looks phenomenal anyway.
Yeah, it's like apparently it was tailor made for it. I'm just like, of course it was.
But I mean, it's kind of the other thing of like, because I mentioned, or like I just said, as long as my games run smoothly or at least relatively smoothly, I'm not gonna have an issue. But then again, I play a lot of jank games,
Right.
or like games that inherently aren't necessarily the smoothest gameplay or something. Because I play I've done a lot of random Steam games to try and end up playing. So it's like I don't. Game just has to be fun.
Right.
As long as it's fun, I don't care if it looks good.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I mean, graphics, like I'm all down for a game looking like this graphical masterpiece, but it's like as long as the game is fun, that's what matters.
Believe me, as I was playing Black Myth, every time I went to a new zone, I'm like, God damn, this looks good.
Yeah.
I don't do that most of the time, but sometimes when it just hitting you in the face with how good it looks, you're like, yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, you can't help but to admire it for a second. $700 though, whew, buddy. I will say, actually, no, I won't say because I don't want to promote. I want to promote GameStop. But I was gonna say I saw they had something good going on, I guess. But I'll let you go dig into that. But getting your hands on the PS5 Pro, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that hard to do. They'll probably be very readily available. If you want to go spend the money, by all means, because we will not be.
If you have a PlayStation 5 already, I wouldn't say go upgrade to the PS5 Pro. I don't think it's worth shelling out $700 for the upgrade if you already have one. If you don't have one, I don't remember how much PS5s cost right now.
I think it's what 500 and 450 or 550,
if it's
500?
I mean, if it's 500 or if it's around 500 for them, it might be worth going ahead and getting the newer one, like the Pro. But again, that's you're shelling out almost half of almost an additional 50% to have that one. I wouldn't be able to justify that to myself.
Oh no. I'm very happy with my day one PS5 in there with my Spider-Man plates, so I will not be upgrading. I'm good. Like even with the PlayStation and the Xbox, I didn't upgrade to those either. Even though I
didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, like even though those kind of made more sense, I was still happy with what I had. It was fine. So I don't know. PS5 Pro, it's been something, man.
I will say, like that. I just thought about it. I was like, what was I playing on my PS4? Like towards the end of that generation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, it was like God of War and Digimon. It's about all I played.
Yeah,
for the most part, because I'd go back and I'd replay like Cyber Sleuth or something like that.
Cyber Sleuth is so good.
And it was like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was playing. That's why I didn't upgrade. I didn't need to for those games.
Didn't need to, man. Cyber Sleuth is so good, bro. I'm so glad that they got bundled for the Switch. Big fan of that. Pick that one up. Have not beat them since they've put that.
I've got an ongoing playthrough on the Switch that I go back to every now and then.
Yeah, so do I. I'm working on the first one right now. Really enjoy those games, man. I really wish they'd make another one. I don't know if they will though.
They might eventually.
Maybe one day. That or we'll get Digimon Survive too.
I mean, I'd fucking love that.
I know you would. Even though you were convinced the game didn't exist. Which is fair. You were valid in thinking that.
Anybody that did think it existed was foolish.
Oh, geez. Shout out. Just like we're going to shout out some Rogue Energy. You can use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky30 to get 10% off your order, whether it's the hydration, chill, or the energy line. They're all fantastic. We recommend them all. For the energy line, for the cans, I definitely recommend Black Cherry Lemonade. For the powder, I recommend Rocket Pop, Great Popsicle, Strawberry Kiwi, Sour Candy for some starters, and Hydration Dragon Fruit Mango is fantastic. Again, use the referral link down below. If they have a better sale going on, that's perfectly fine. Don't use our promo code. Just use our referral link. You're still helping the brand. All right, so since Zach's not here, we'll hold off on bit breakers. And I guess you and I will go through some predictions, buddy. We'll have the best time possible. So I have a very small selective list here. Like, I didn't want to overload it with like things that obviously wouldn't probably be the greatest. I kind of kept it to kind of notable ones. I mean, if there's something that you think of that's coming out, you want to shout out, please by all means shout it out. So what we're doing is we're going to go through some notable titles that's coming out the rest of the year and just kind of give a general prediction on where we think they may rank. Just for simplicity's sake, I mean, John, what do you want to do? Do you want to go Metacritic standards of like 1 to 100, or do you want to go by our personal grading scale?
I mean, either way, though, I'm probably not going to be close on any of this.
Well, you know what? That's the fun of it. I'm gonna circle back on this, and I'm gonna see how close we were.
Because believe me, my opinions would be heavily swaying of what I would say these games should get.
I mean,
some of these I don't care.
It's just general predictions.
I know,
all right,
but
we're gonna do both. I'm gonna get the board, and we're gonna also do Metacritic.
I am gonna, before we really start on it, I'm gonna throw one in here for I believe September. We're pretty close on it.
Okay.
We're pretty close to the release date of it, and that's that. What was it? Introia Last Song or whatever?
Oh, yeah,
the Souls-like game coming out.
Yeah.
R score wise, I'd say 8 out of 10.
Very good.
Metacritic wise, I'll say that one gonna hit somewhere around like I'll give a little bit of a range. Give myself a little buffer here. I'm not gonna say a big range. I'm gonna give I'd say 83 to 85.
Okay, all right.
That's my range. I'm gonna use for that 2 to 3 points.
Okay, all right, that's fair. You know, just to help us out here, let me pull Metacritic up on my phone so I can use that and look at like the top rated games of the year, because I do have one question about all this. So let's see, Explore Games, best games this year.
93 or something.
So the highest one is still obviously Shadow of Erdtree is the expansion. That's 95. But actual standalone game is Astro Bot at 94. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 92. Castlevania Domus Collection at a 92. Animal Well 91. Balatro at 90. And Satisfactory at 90 as well. Then we have a few more 90s. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Dog shit. Thank Goodness You're Here. Well, I don't even know what that is. Tekken 8, and then we get into the 80s. So that's our current 90s games of the year, just going based off that. So going through the little list that I've got, and there were some that I took out because I think they're about to come out. Like, did Marvel Capcom come out, or is it about to come out?
I don't know.
Okay, because I feel like I feel like it already came out. I feel like we're not going to do that one. What about the Plucky Squire?
I don't know what that is.
What do you mean you don't know what this is?
Exactly what I fucking said.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what this is.
You've seen it, but I know it's not a game on your radar, so you just not remember. So it's a Devolver Digital game. It's like the storybook game that where it has moments where it's 2D, and then the little Plucky Squire, he'll jump out of the book and it becomes like a 3D game. Does that ring any sort of bell?
I've got no memory of that.
Well, I'll do this then because I'm really excited for this. It's coming to PlayStation Plus, and I'm going to play it, and I'm really excited. Zach knows what it is. So shout out to Zach, man. He knows what it is. So I'm going to be honest. I think this is actually going to review really well. I feel like it's going to come in at like an 87. I feel like that's pretty solid. I'm going to say a nice, 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 on our scale. Amazing or very good. I need to keep this thing in frame. But I think it's going to come in like an 87 on Metacritic. 87, 88. Around there. I'm feeling it. I think Plucky Squire is going to be really good.
Do you have more to say on it?
No.
I was just going to say, 'cause next we got Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm gonna come in here real quick. I think this just based on one, it being Zelda game.
Fair.
Two, it looks to be adorable and creative.
Fair.
I think this game's gonna hit like a 93.
Ooh, okay.
I think this is gonna be a game that critics fucking love.
I'm gonna go a little lower. I don't know why. I'm just gonna go a little lower, and I'm gonna say 89. I think critics are gonna love it, but I'm gonna say 89 for Metacritic. If we were to review it, which we probably will end up doing that. I'd say we end up probably giving it like an 8. I'd say.
I'd probably agree to that. I mean, it's a game. I don't know if I'll pick that up on release. That is a game I plan on playing this year.
All right, so Zach's in chat, and based on what I'm seeing in chat, my only assumption is the dude's driving because he's had to correct himself 3 times to try to say what he's trying to say. He is informing me that Marvel vs. Capcom is in fact out. All right, so I'm glad I took that off the list. But he said the first thing he said was McCain is put. It was the first message. And then he typed MVC, and then he typed is out. So I'm assuming he's driving or he's multitasking in some capacity. So shout out to that. But no, Zelda though, I can see it hitting up to 93. I can see that. I'm giving 89 vibes.
It's one like that. My range would be 91 to 93, but I think 93 is the top end of the range. I don't think it scores higher.
That's fair. All right. Look, there's probably some more September games that are probably notable.
That's why I threw the one in.
Yeah,
because it's probably the other like one that I would see getting like reviewed decently well, and I don't think it's gonna be a pop off game, but I think it's gonna be a game that like Souls fans are gonna love.
Right. It's kind of like the one I just shout out. Thank goodness you're here came in at 90. I have no clue what that is. I've never heard of that. It's gonna be one of those potentially, or it's like it's gonna get reviewed well, but some people just won't hear about it.
No, people are the genre fans are probably going to enjoy it, and also it had a really good trailer at like Summer Games Fest.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
The past year, or Game Award, probably both.
Yeah, probably both. Who knows?
That's where it got my attention, at least.
Okay. Going into October, the first thing I had was the Silent Hill 2 remake. So out of curiosity, I looked up Silent Hill 2, the OG release, came in at 89 on Metacritic. Do you think it's going to match that score? Because I personally tried to go with that same mindset when the Resident Evil 4 remake came out, because Resident Evil 4 OG was like a 97 or some shit. It was super high. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna call it. The remake's gonna come in at like a 97, 98. Do you think the remake of Silent Hill 2 is gonna hit 89 at least to match its original release, or do you think it's gonna come a little bit lower? Long time waiting for this one. Beloved horror classic.
It's gonna match it. It's gonna match it, if not go 1 point above.
So like right there at 90.
It's gonna be 89, 90 in my opinion. Not necessarily, mostly because this is a game that people look back on and love, and these remakes so far, like with the Resident Evil and that, everybody has universally loved them, and with how beloved this game is, as long as it's done to that same level of quality that people have started to expect out of like the Resident Evil remakes, this should easily hit the same point.
See, that's my mindset as well. Because like the thing about this game that like people love so damn much is like not only is it just like a really good horror game, like apparently it has a phenomenal narrative behind it. Like I know our other buddy Zach absolutely adores this game because of the narrative behind it.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody speak ill of this game. I've only heard universal praise.
Yeah, so I would like to think that it's going to come in at 89, 90. I would like to agree with you on that. And I probably will be playing this, so I will predict that I'm going to give it a probably an 8.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to play it, but
no.
Yeah.
No, okay. Next on our list.
Here we go.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Which,
99.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. Metacritic wise, I'm going to say like 80, like 82 to 84. It's going to come in decently well.
Okay.
R rating wise, this game is going to be like a high 9.
Right.
Because for us, we're gonna fucking love it.
So to support what John's saying about the score, let me shout out some scores for you on Dragon Ball games.
I haven't even looked at these. I just assume.
You assumed right. So right out of the gate, Fighter Z is pretty high. That's fair. That's an actual competitive fighter. It was really good, very beautifully artistically. That came in at 87. All right, let's keep going. Kakarot, that's an open world like RPG. That came in at 73. All right, let's get down to the
that was very different from what people expected, though.
Let's go with a couple games that you and I love so much, being the two Xenoverse games. 69 and 72. I did not know 72 was Xenoverse. That game is great. What?
Yeah, but you got to remember when it came.
I know.
After the fact, it's gotten way better. When it first came out, it was a slightly upgraded version of the same game.
All right, so what do you think Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3 came in at? Because they got the same score. What do you think their score is?
I'd like to say like low 80s, but based on what you're saying, I'm going to assume like 70.
72 for both of them. Budokai 3 got a 77. So I guess.
Wait, what did Budokai 2 get?
66.
Okay. For some reason, I think that one is always like the best reviewed of the Budokai games.
No, that people hate Budokai 2.
I know, but
it was the board game.
But I know, but that's the thing. It's like that's the one that it always sticks out because I thought it was one that everybody hated, but people like for some reason critics liked.
And then Budokai 1 got a 67.
Yeah. So
not promising.
I'm going to be optimistic and say like low 80s purely because of the fact that this is going back to the Tenkaichi roots that all fans have been wanting for a long time. So it's going to get a little bump for that. But for the fans of the game, this is going to for the fans who have been waiting on this game, our own personal score will be
very high.
It'll be a very high score when we actually play it.
So in terms of Metacritic score, I am not going to be as optimistic. I'm going to say it's going to get a 79.
Yeah, but I said it before you looked at the scores.
Well, I know.
I went in blind.
I'm going to say 79. I don't think they're going to be kind to this game.
I even in my head, low 80s is optimistic.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be kind to it, but for a Dragon Ball fan, which that's what this game is for, this thing's going to be this is going to be your game of the year potentially. If you're a diehard Dragon Ball fan.
I mean, even if you're just a fan of anime fighters.
Yeah, you're just going to have a great time.
That's the thing is all anime fighting fans play the same. We all play the same game.
Yeah.
It's just what skin is on it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm calling 79. I'm calling 79. Still excited for it, especially after the latest trailer. Very excited for the game. Next up is Metaphor, Atlas's new game, the fantasy Persona-like game. What do you think this will come in at? I know this is not one that you're looking to pick up. I mean, what would you?
I'm
guess?
having to think this over. You're more in tune with them, so I'll let you jump in on that one while I try to come up with something. I got a range I'm working with.
I will say this. I'm very curious what Zach would think on how it's going to come in. I would be very curious of that. I have a feeling it's not going to come in as high as let's say Persona 5 or anything. I don't think it's going to come in hot like that or really any of the Personas coming in super hot. But I'm going to at least say it's going to hit the 80s. I'm going to say, I don't know, 86. I think 86, 87. I think it's it's going
You are fucking stealing my... I'm sitting over here as you're talking because I was working between mid to low 80s or mid to high 80s.
Yeah.
And before you said it, I was like, I'm going to go 86, somewhere in there. 86 is where I'm kind of sitting at.
I'd be curious of Zach's thoughts if he thinks they could push 90 or not.
This is going to, I have a feeling the critic score on Metaphor is going to be determined on how far they actually play into the game.
Yeah, how early they can get it.
Because a lot of Atlas... Is it Atlas games?
Yeah, it's Atlas.
Yeah, Atlas game. A lot of Atlas games.
It's long.
The beginnings of them kind of suck.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a long game.
It's the beginning of it is okay, well, yeah, let me. You're just sitting there for the first couple hours. A lot of times going, let me get to where I can have fun.
Right.
It's I like what I see. Just let me get to the point where I can do it.
Yeah. Now, for me and Zach, this is probably gonna be a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 banger of the year, right? But I think from a critic standpoint, I mean, critics have been pretty kind to Atlas stuff. I ain't gonna lie. But I feel like 87 is kind. I feel like that range is kind. I can see that.
I'm skipping over the next one because I want to get to. I want to talk about COD.
All right, we'll do COD next. Call of
COD.
Duty Black Ops 6. I'm coming back to the other one, but we can do COD right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump into this. I'd say low 80s.
Low 80s. Okay.
Low 80s at best.
How would that fare? Let me look. How would that fare versus other releases? Let me look that up.
I feel like this game is gonna be fucking split down the middle. People are gonna love this game, and people are gonna hate this game.
So Modern Warfare in 19 got an 80. Let's see. Modern Warfare 2 got a 75. Oof. What was the last Black Ops? This is 6. Yeah, 5. Where's
Black Ops 5 is like 5 years ago.
Okay.
5 or 6.
Didn't have
It's more than that.
Didn't have like a different name, or is it Black Ops 5?
It was Call of Duty Black Ops 5.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So like Cold War a few years ago, 76. People did not like Cold War.
I was gonna say that's like
Vanguard. Forgot that came out recently.
I was gonna say
it's
73. Like maybe closer to 7 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, have not been kind to some recent CODs.
I'd say like you're barely like 80, 81 is probably as good as this game is hoping to get.
Man, what an era the original Modern Warfare was. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came in at 94. Modern Warfare 2 came in at 94, and Modern Warfare 3 came in at 88. What an era that was, man. That was a great. For Black Ops 6, I'm gonna say at best it's gonna be an 82. I played the open beta. I mean, it felt fine, I guess. It didn't do anything to re-spark my former love for FPS games. It's like, all right, well, I'm kind of wrapped up here. I have seen a lot of hilarious clips of like diving and taking a shot for someone, so that's funny. And seen a lot of clips of the bodies thing. A lot of clips of that one.
There is, I was looking at maybe there is too much going on. There's too much technical shit that you'd have to keep track of in that game. Too much movement options, too much of that. I don't want to do that.
Right. So this is not going to be the COD to pull you back in.
I'll probably play it.
Yeah.
I'll probably play it a little bit, but not enough to be like the last time I really jumped in.
Right. No, I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna go with you on this, and I'm gonna say that it's gonna be like at best low 80s. I'm gonna say 79 is my official score on Metacritic. I'm gonna say a 79 is my official. All right, now going back, we're gonna hit Super Mario Party Jamboree. So all the hands-on previews of this game all kind of indicate what I was already kind of thinking was the strong possibility that this is going to be the best Mario Party game on the Switch, because
that's not a big competition.
It's not, but I defend Super Mario Party.
It's not that it was a bad game. It's a game that didn't have enough.
Yeah, neither of them had enough. Superstars or Super Mario Party, and that's the one thing that Jamboree's done really well on is fixing the complaints of these two, and then even giving more, to my understanding, including throwing in characters that people have wanted to be a playable character for a few years now. Like Pauline just got added to as be a playable character. So shout out to that. I'm gonna say like 83.
I was gonna say
83. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a really good score.
84. I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think a Mario Party-esque type game really I don't think it should score higher than that necessarily, because I would never call like a party game like that a masterpiece,
right?
Or anything of like that. It because at the end of the day, it's made type of game that it is. It's gonna be it's not the game itself that makes it fun. It's the interactions with the people you're playing with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a game for interaction with your friends.
So just like doing a look, I think the highest reviewed Mario Party that they've had, although I don't see Mario Party 2 on here. Oh, there it is. It's not rated, but Mario Party 1's rated, and so is 3, so that's random. So the highest one that's on here is actually Superstars, and at 80. That's the highest the Mario Party's ever got. So I would say 83, maybe 82.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think Jamboree is going to be considered the best Mario Party by the time it's said and done. Sonic X Shadow Generations. I know you don't give a shit.
I don't have any opinion on this.
Yeet something out there, buddy. Sonic Generations was really good.
I know people look back at Generations and have a lot of nostalgia for it. I have no frame of reference for any Sonic or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw out
Yeet it, baby.
like
Yeet it.
82.
That'd probably be pretty fair. So like Sonic Generations came in at a 77.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
What did Frontiers get?
I think that was a 77 as well.
Yeah.
Let me look. Frontiers.
It's like I assume people will like this game probably more than that, just based on Generations.
Actually, no. Frontiers got a 70. I didn't know it was that low. I thought it was a little bit higher than that. Wow. All right. Well.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I don't really have a frame of reference for Sonic. I'll just say 82 because most decent games get somewhere around an 80.
Yeah.
Or like high 70s to low 80s.
I'm gonna guess like 78, 79. That's gonna be my personal guess. I really want that collector's edition that Limited Run is doing. The statue they have for it's so cool, dude. The statue is Sonic and Shadow, but they're standing on a Dreamcast. It's like, dude, that's so cool. Like, I want that statue so damn bad. Life is Strange, double exposure. What do you think about this one? Let me look up what True Colors scored at. I don't remember. Life is Strange has always been, I think, reviewed pretty well. Let's see. Life is Strange. Yeah, a lot of greens. That's what we like to see here. So Life is Strange Before the Storm, 77. True Colors, 81. True Colors Wavelengths, 79. Life is Strange, the original, 85. Life is Strange 2, 78. I'm not going to go through all the different episodes. That gets you enough of a gist. So
I'd say, yeah.
I'm going to say actually 86. I'm going to go high on this one.
I was going to say 84.
Yeah, I'm going to go high. I'm going to say 86 is what it's going to come in at.
Because, because I think the thing is, like, Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm, I think they were probably rated, because it's like, they were like high 70s or low 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like, they were rated that way, but then I think people tend to, for Life is Strange, that is the nostalgia point for Life is Strange that everybody wanted to see the continuation of. Mm-hmm. And now that we're kind of getting some of that, or like getting some addition onto that, like more of what's happened since.
Right.
I think this is going to be a case where it's going to score higher because people have wanted to know what's happened.
Yeah, people's been waiting on this one for a while.
Hello, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Shit.
What?
It's going to be shit.
You need to calm down. Life is Strange double exposure is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, you should have came in on the one before that.
It'll be a disappointment. It'll be like 2. It'll be somewhat good, but everyone's going to forget it.
Well, no, that's what that was the point I was making when you were coming in, is people really like Life is Strange and Before the Storm, so this one is going to be rated higher because we had a little continuation from that in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm calling 86. I'm going high on this one. I'm excited for double exposure. What about Dragon Age, the Veilguard? BioWare needs this. They need something positive out of this.
Let's go with a hard 78.
Hard 78. All right, so the lowest Dragon Age game to date then.
75.
Oh my God, you guys are being very harsh.
I think this is going to be one where
I'm going to be honest. This is the one that I'm hoping is going to be better than I'm expecting, but I have no real high expectations, and I like Dragon Age.
Right.
I think this is going to be a game kind of like Inquisition, where it's got its own weird. It like people don't like it as much because it's kind of a change, but over time it's going to get more popular.
Probably.
That's where I see this. I think initially it's not going to get the best reception, but then as people kind of settle in and just get used to it, they're going to go, actually, we really like this.
I'm going to be honest. I think more fondly about Inquisition now versus when I originally played it.
That's what's going to happen with this game. I think it's going to come out with
because
middling scores.
Hindsight with Inquisition, I'm like, it's not as bad as I felt it was. It was actually pretty decent.
Yeah. I'm going to say 80. It's not going to be the highest rated Dragon Age game by any means. I don't think it's going to be the lowest because, like, based on Metacritic, Dragon Age 2 is actually the lowest.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's at a 79.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. I think it's going to come in at 80, which while that's not a bad score, I feel like that's going to be like almost like not what BioWare wants. You know what I mean? Like this is what this game in a sense almost feels kind of like BioWare's comeback game. Like is the way they are framing it. You know what I mean?
Again, I'm hoping it's better than what I'm anticipating.
Yeah, trust me too. Because if this game if this game stinks in any capacity, I'm losing faith in Mass Effect. I'm losing faith in the new Mass Effect. So I really want this game to come out and just be a smashing success.
This is gonna be like like in my opinion, the equivalent of kind of like Hellblade.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna come out and it's gonna sit there and just steadily have a player base of people who keep discovering it or keep giving it a shot, and then over time, people are gonna really, really, really like it.
Yeah. God, man, I hope it reviews well. I really do. What about Mario and Luigi Brothership?
82.
I think 82 would probably be pretty fair for it. I'm gonna say
I don't know what this game. I remember seeing the name. I don't know what this game is.
It's a Mario and Luigi game.
yeah, it's the return of that series. I'm gonna say 84. And that seems to be kind of in line with everything
80.
else.
80 to 82.
That's also pretty fair too. Actually, you know what's kind of interesting? I think looking at it, I don't think they've ever scored below an 80 besides once.
I mean, they're consistently solid.
Yeah, the only one
Was
that
it the
ever,
Paper Mario one?
It was the Paper Mario one. That one got a 76.
Yep.
Everything else got a 90 or in the 80s. So I would like to think it's going to hit probably mid 80s for Brothership. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this series to return. John, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. What do you think?
I've already seen articles of people like of like people saying you're not gonna be ready for the remake. I don't know how well critically this is gonna come across. I would say 87.
That's pretty good.
Say like 87 to 89, maybe somewhere in that range.
Question, John. Have you actually ever seen gameplay from the original Dragon Quest 3?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. It can only go extremely up.
Well, the thing is, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, bringing a 25-year-old game
When it
or
was back
something
on like 6-bit.
yeah, when it's back to where it was like old Fire Emblem games and that where it's like just a 2D screen where it's like doot 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 doot, you're moving around.
I was about to say, I would hope at least it scratches 90.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of tempering myself because I've thrown out some like high scores.
You say that, but I was thinking about it. We haven't even really hit the 90s that much. Like we're keeping expectations. I feel like pretty tempered.
Yeah, I've thrown out like some high scores previously, not necessarily this episode.
Yeah.
And then been
Burned.
you know, not necessarily burned, but just off of what critics typically want. Like I have a feeling that like something like Zelda is Echoes of Wisdom. That's going to be a more like critically acclaimed game than Dragon Quest.
Right.
But I'd say this is 87 to 89. I would like it to be higher because I'm going to be very excited to play this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 88. I'm with you guys on that range. I could see that. How do you think Assassin's Creed Shadows is gonna review?
68.
Oh God. Oh, buddy.
I thought I was going to be harsh on this. I thought I was going to say like 72 and think I was going to be harsh.
The last one was not very promising, gonna be honest.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, from what I've seen of this, I'm not impressed. It looks the same.
All right. Let me do some fact checking.
I mean, it might be the lowest rated Assassin's Creed at 68, where I'm putting it. I think the only thing that could be lower than it was, I think, like the PSP specific one.
Let's see. You said 68.
What about Unity? Because Unity was a dumpster fire when it came out.
72.
72.
Yep.
I mean, it was pretty low, but yeah, it was mostly because of glitches and whatnot. It came back.
So yeah, if it came in as 68, what is this? Okay, I mean, well, yeah, this one. I don't know if you can count this one. It's one of the Chronicles games. It's China, the Chronicles China game. That I don't know if we can count that one.
I mean, I would. They count it as canon.
All right, well, it's 69 then. So yeah, still the lowest that you're throwing out there.
So I'm probably off the mark, but I can dream. Kill the franchise, Ubisoft.
Oh my God, kill the
It's
franchise.
their only one.
It's not their only one.
It's the only one they care about.
It is the only one they care
It is
about.
the only one they care about. I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to be a little generous. I'm gonna say a 74.
Who would have thought the high score for one of these is going to be 74?
I'm gonna say 74 for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm gonna try to be a little generous. A couple points higher there. What about Stalker 2? This long, unfortunately delayed game. I know you're excited for it. I think
This
you're
is
the only
my
one
dark
here.
horse.
Yeah,
This is my dark
this
horse
is your
of the
dark
year.
horse, yeah.
I'd give it a nice sweep in of a 84.
I'm going to say this is going to be my dark horse pick for the year as far as like critically acclaimed games. I'm going to say this one's going to scratch like 92.
Ooh, okay.
I think
I was
this
thinking
one,
high, but I wasn't thinking that high.
this is one I'm probably going to end up playing this game, but also for some reason, like I keep seeing like news about the game of like people, it just seems like every time I see something about it, it's just kind of general excitement for the game to come out.
I mean, that's a lot of what I've seen on Stalker 2 when it
So-
first got on my radar.
So it's like I feel like that excitement is just building, and then when people go to play it, it's gonna kind of be that just everybody's going to enjoy, unless it comes out as just jank and broken.
Yeah,
Which it's been delayed enough where I don't think that's gonna happen.
I agree.
It's been delayed enough. You hope it's not going to happen.
Yeah, true. I'm gonna say 88. I thought I was gonna go kind of high with 88, but you're sweeping in here with that 92 or 93, whatever.
This is probably, but this is probably gonna be the one where I have the highest chance of being
So
far off.
let me stress this. For the sake of the studio, I hope and pray they get like a 93 because they deserve it, man. Like, because like not only has it been delayed from just like a work issue, obviously there's real world events happening that's caused the game to get delayed. Man, I hope this game's a smashing success for them. They deserve it. Let's go. Hopefully it gets a 93. Let's see. Then going to December, we got Marvel Rivals up front. I'm gonna say like mid 80s. I think like 85.
Say like 83.
Yeah, I think like 85 could come in.
84.
I think that's gonna be pretty fair. I don't think it's gonna.
I mean, it's a hero shooter. I mean, unless it's just changes the genre, it's not going to scratch 90.
Yeah, and it's really not. It just looks like it literally just looks like Overwatch with Marvel. Like it doesn't look like
It's Marvel Overwatch. I mean, people are gonna play it and enjoy it, but is it gonna be a critically acclaimed game? No.
yeah.
I mean, overall, from what I've seen, I mean, it looks like it's going to be solid. It'll probably have a consistent player base and will probably survive within the hero shooter genre.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna firmly put its foot in the door as like probably the second most notable, after about a year. But like I just checked it out. Like Overwatch came in at a 91. It won Game of the Year, but that's also because like it basically created a genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you look at Overwatch 2, came in at a 79, right? So it's like Marvel Rivals. While I'm so damn excited for it, it's not reinventing anything. I just love Marvel and I like hero shooters, so it's gonna be fun. But it's not reinventing anything. So I'm gonna say like 85 at best. If it got higher, cool, but I don't think it will. What about this Indiana Jones game that none of us here are excited for?
78.
I was about to say 78. This game is gonna either score a 78 or like an 88.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the spectrums. It's either going to be very low on the lower end or it's going to be on the very high end.
So I'm gonna go with the mindset that John said about Valve until proven wrong. I'm gonna say Bethesda doesn't know how to make good games anymore, and I'm gonna say this is gonna come in at like a 74. Like it's gonna be on the low end. It's gonna be my call. But if you're an Indiana Jones
retracted
fan,
that statement, by the way.
He
in case
did.
Anybody hasn't?
he did retract the statement because of Deadlocked. But he did say that at one point that Valve didn't know how to make good games anymore. Bethesda doesn't know how to make good games anymore. That's gonna be I'm gonna make that my meme, and I'm gonna die on my hill until proven otherwise. I'm gonna say like 74 is what Indiana Jones is gonna come in at. And then the last one I had was Lego Horizon Adventure. Lego games are always really fun. I mean, it's probably just gonna score like low 80s.
I was gonna say like 82.
Yeah, I mean, Lego games are always fun.
82 to 84, somewhere right there. It's gonna be like Lego games are for the players; they're not for the critics.
Yeah, fact.
yeah.
I want to say wasn't like there was one Lego game that it was a Star Wars the Skywalker Saga. Didn't that review super high?
Yeah, that one actually did review pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, but looking at the Lego games for the most part across the board, all reviewed well because they're just fun games. You know, you just hop on there with family or friends, whatever, and just have a good time.
Murder each other.
Yeah, murder each other. Facts. Yeah, I'm gonna say like low 80s. I'm gonna say like 81 will be my official prediction for Horizon Adventures. Zach, what do you think about Metaphor? I was talking about that earlier. I was curious how high you think this could swing.
Technically speaking, probably going to be in the 80s.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only reason I would think it might be higher in the 90s is because it is a different settings set of fantasy and medieval style with
Right.
magic and whatnot versus the Alice's most notable series, Persona, which is like the high school teenager stuff and whatnot, which from a critic's point of view, I could very much see as very tedious and whatnot, versus this is going to be more fantasy and hopefully not as high school centric feel or anything, which could allow it to be seen a little bit better in terms of that.
What's your official prediction on the score?
Let's go with an interesting 92.
Ooh, okay. Give them the 90s for it.
See, my thing I said of it is critic score is going to depend on how long they actually play the game that
Yeah.
they're given. The
Well-
longer they play it, probably the higher it's going to be rated.
Ideally, from everything they've said about Metaphor, it should ideally make people who are used to Persona series feel similar, but should play a bit differently in terms of just flow and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of like they're usually the introduction to their game.
I mean, yeah.
Kind of, it takes a bit to get going.
Did you have any games that I did not have on there that you want to throw out there? Because I know he threw in one. I just kind of went with like notables. Obviously, there's plenty of games coming out. I just went with kind of more notables coming out.
Not without looking at a list, I don't.
Okay, all right. All right, well, let me shout out Agent Ink then. Let's go check out Agent Ink with the referral link down below. You can pick up one of our 2 hats or one of our jerseys, and we would appreciate that extra support. Again, you can go down the referral link down below, pick whether it's the Trash Can hat, the Sparky 3 hat, the Sparky 3 jersey, AniMan Plus jersey, and more. We'd appreciate that support. All right, boys. So how's Bitbreakers? Omega Strikers devs new game. So shout out to that. How's that going for you boys?
It's weird.
It's
Weird.
it's
Okay. All right,
an
love to hear
idea.
it. It's an idea. All right, love to
I
hear
mean,
that.
first off, let's say this, that Odyssey Interactive themselves more or less said, hey, this is what we've been working on. Here's a playable playtest. Let us know what you feel like, and we might finish it.
It was it was more of a statement of them going, hey, we know we said we were going to do some more games. Here's an idea we had. If you want us to keep doing it, we will.
I love the transparency.
Yes. They were very much like, here's a build that we have. Have fun with it. Let us know, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So I'm going to give a brief rundown of what the game is. This is a team-based 2D platform brawler BR.
So
40 players on a map.
how many?
40.
40 players, teams of 2. 2D platformer. And 2D brawler.
Okay.
That's the setup.
That's
the setup.
That is the game.
See, when I Googled this game to get a picture for the thumbnail, like the first thing that I saw was an article was like Super Smash Brothers Battle Royale. I'm like, what?
Yep.
was
That's
like, what?
exactly what it is.
It's like, what?
Yeah. It plays just as weird as it sounds.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Controller scheme makes no sense.
Nope.
Perfect. Love it.
It's weird. It's one of the
I mean, overall, in terms of what we in this play build, it is definitely a concept in the works. It is very obvious. I mean, overall, what we got, it is actually very entertaining. It is intriguing. In terms of BR and brawler platformers, it's something new.
Fair. New is good. Unique is good.
In terms of the brawler platformer side of it, it's not stock. It's health percentage. And in terms of actual fighting, it is weird. There's no, which was my big thing, is just it has no follow-up, just normal combos. You have your basic normal attack of neutral, up, sides, down, and then your specials, and then a heavy attack of neutral, up, side, down.
Yeah, you essentially you have a normal attack. You have your like you said, then you have your special attacks, and then you essentially just have smash attacks.
And then you can also empower your special attacks.
Yeah, that's all weird.
And in terms of, and I mean, in terms of like a brawler, everyone thinks, of course, Smash, because even in their like announcement, like, we know by saying platform brawler, we're going to get compared to Smash.
Yep.
And everything. It's just like, so most people's essential combo setup is a string of normals into specials. Mm-hmm. Well, for this, it's more of a like traditional fighting game of which you have to figure out your own combos by connections, which is very intriguing for doing in a platform brawler, and a bit of a learning curve for anyone who's more used to like Smash. Overall, there is a lot going on, but I mean, it's not terribly hard to figure out if you're used to any kind of VR or just general fighting game.
The movement in the game is probably the best part about the game.
Yes.
I honestly didn't necessarily enjoy the combat that much. For most of the characters, there's a couple characters I enjoyed their like special attacks and how they actually played. The movement, though, I did enjoy the movement. Had a lot of fun running circles around people that were trying to finish me off. We gained quite a few places by me being able to just run circles around 4 people.
Right.
But yeah, kind of like you said, the combat itself, like inherently, because it's a platform brawler that uses a like percentage health. It also has, as your health gets lower and lower, your knockback increases. So then landing combos, like, or trying to figure out inherent combos that you can use with like normal attacks leading into specials or something, also hard to do. And then like trying to just keep track or chase people down is kind of difficult. Yeah, and then just for shits and giggles, because it's a BR, there's also gear and items. Yeah, you get 3 gear slots. Like, was it like chest, boot, and hand slot that you can find different rarities for, and they all do different things as far as like increasing your sprint speed or increasing your air dodge distance,
allowing you to run up walls.
Yeah, run up walls or heal for a percentage of the damage you deal or something like that. And then there's items like throwable items, healing items.
And there's special glitches that are randomly chosen each map and just put in 2 different locations where you can pick up and you get a overpowered ability. But you're also now visible on everyone's map for the rest of the game.
Okay. What's the general like reception of this game so far? Because like obviously it's what the Odyssey's kind of waiting on. Is like, hey, if you guys like this, we'll make it, but we'll finish it. Like, what's the
reception? I really
reception?
haven't seen a whole lot yet myself. But then again, I haven't checked the community tab.
Yeah, I haven't looked to see reception. My personal opinion is the concept of like a 2D platform brawler BR. I'm not necessarily opposed to the concept. I kind of like the concept of it. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the implementation of it so far. Granted, it would need more work, but them needing more work is, or the concept needing more work is what is kind of
on the line
the
here.
Sticking point for me.
Right.
It's like they need to be convinced that it's a good idea to do it, but I need to be convinced by them doing more for me to want to continue playing it.
Yes. I'm in the same boat as John. I mean, in terms of concept, it is very interesting and it was entertaining for definitely something new and a different experience in terms of a platform fighter and BR. My biggest thing would just be have more fluid combat iteration, because I've played through most of the roster, and in terms of just overall being able to jump in and play, there is a bit of a gap besides like Juliet, Amy, and I think now we're probably the easiest to string some sort of combination together very quickly.
I think Now was the only one I didn't end up playing. And honestly, like Juliet seems to be like, if you're just jumping in and want a character to play and have a decent idea of what to do, you can kind of just hit buttons on.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Juliet's always been.
Yeah.
Even in like Omega Strikers. I mean, personally, the character that I was able to actually string some stuff together with inherently, not even necessarily Luna, because Luna was just, you have big hit boxes and
You
big
just
AoE
kept
hit
dropping
boxes.
rockets.
No, it's actually Rune.
Oh, really? Okay.
Rune was the one that made more sense because most of the way people are going to try to catch you is they're gonna sprint towards you, dash through the air, and he inherently, one of his specials is I'm gonna put a portal up here. You don't get to go this way, and it kind of just blocks off some of the jump at you tools. And then his neutral special is he throws out like a little wave of energy, and it's just kind of like, I mean, you can't just stand there and take it, so you got to choose to engage or don't engage. And if you back off, well, I can just kind of try to set up around you.
And the best thing about it is when he uses his energy bars for that, it just becomes a giant wave across the whole damn screen.
But yeah, it's a weird one to say because, like I said, I'm in the boat of I kind of like the overall concept, but I want to play a more polished version of it. But they won't make a more polished version of it unless people they can convince them, if the players can convince them that it's worth it.
Yeah. Which, just doing a quick little search, obviously there's no reviews on Steam because it's playtest, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't really get to dive into the discussions because, I'm trying to keep the pace of the show. But like just going based off titles, there were some positive. There was one title that said, I doubt this is it. Looking at the Steam charts, the highest peak was 2,700 players.
I mean, but me and John talked about that last night after finished playing. It was like, I wouldn't expect it to be higher than that just because literally you had to be following Odyssey Interactive to even catch a whiff of this.
Yeah, right.
Because this has only come up in like the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
2 days.
They literally just posted about it a day before. They're like, servers are up.
Yep. It's like, come play this, I guess.
Yeah. And it's also one where, like I said, it's a concept idea, and it's one that we haven't really seen. We've seen this idea done as a like 3D brawler, like fighting type BRs. We've seen that. I forget what the name of the game was. It was like DKO or something. It was more like the wrestling BR type game.
Oh shit! You guys talked about it before.
Yeah.
Or one of you did. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the one that's dead now.
Yeah,
I
remember that.
I think
game.
it was like DKO or something.
No, that is Divinity Knockout, which is a high-res game. That is a 3D brawler, but a different type of one.
Yeah, it was something Knockout, I think, or at least that's stuck in my head. There was we've seen that kind of done before, and it had a pretty good community around. I knew people who played that. It looked interesting. I just never played it. Now we have like kind of a 2D variant of that in a sense. Rumbleverse. But yeah, it's like, so now we see another kind of concept of that. Like I said, interesting. If they decide to continue making it, that'll be interesting. Like I said, I'd like to see a more polished version of it. And at least now that it's shown out there somewhere, we may see more of them.
Right. With this game though coming out, one thing that I was going to be curious about just from like Odyssey is even though they're like moving on from Omega, or they already completely moved on, right?
Yeah, they're only doing balance patches at this point.
So I'm wondering if whatever the next game's going to be, whether they go all in on Bit Breakers or whatever, are they just going to continue to stay in the same like universe?
Yeah,
like,
as it stands, that's what they've said.
That's their plan.
They got cool characters, so why not?
I mean, that's more or less what they said. They felt sort of bad at leaving Omega Strikers because they didn't expect it to pop off as quickly as it did or as much as it did. But they kept to their plan and just like, we created all these characters. We're not just going to leave them behind, so we're going to bring them along.
Yeah.
It's like I guess their plan is like they'll make a game, support it as long as it makes sense to, or even then if like people are still playing it, be like, yeah, we want to make something else though. So we'll continue to give you balance pad, or we'll continue to support you playing this, but we're gonna actively move on from it.
Right.
And just continue working that way. Which, I mean, if you're gonna take the time to create the characters, why not bring them along with your next one?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, they got a cool cast of characters. They've done a great job on that front. So just bring them along for whatever the next journey is. Watch, they'll make one day way down the line, they'll make John's favorite of a hero shooter. Just watch.
I mean, they could try.
They could try. They got the characters for it.
I mean, so far though, they very much seem like they're in that wheelhouse of we want to make something unique
Yeah.
because we got our weird air hockey brawler, and now we got a brawler BR.
Yeah. Like they want to try to reinvent something, or like not even reinvent. They want to try to invent something. Is I think the better vibe for it.
They want to give players a new experience. Pretty much is what I'm getting the vibe from Odyssey.
Yeah. Hey, grade A effort. Love that. Is this available for anyone to try?
Yeah, you just got to wish list it on Steam and then you request access. You'll get it almost immediately.
Okay.
Even in their Discord message when they win, it's like, "Hey, this is how you do it." You're probably going to get access, so just do it.
Right. All right. Fair
But
enough.
the servers are only up till Sunday. So, yeah. Unless you're listening to this live, its servers are probably dead.
No. Rip. Rip. Should have let off with that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's the other thing me and Zach talked about last night after we finished playing was, it had a peak of like 2,700 players. When we were playing last night, it had like 1,300 or 1,400 people playing it. But then that made me ask the question. I was like, what's enough players for a company like this?
That's a good question.
Because it's like Omega Strikers popped off for a little while, but its average player base, I don't think it was like more than about 14,000 on like any given day, like not picking anything out, like on an especially high day. And that seemed to be more than they expected to have.
Yeah.
So maybe like 2,000-3,000 players is what they expect for a game to be, or what they would have expected a game to be.
Maybe that's what they're gunning for too. I mean, obviously you gun for more, but at the bare minimum, like, hey, let's just hit that and let's make a fun, creative
It
experience.
just becomes, a thing for a studio their size, what's considered a success for them.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I hope they hit whatever they're trying to hit. I do, because I'm all about trying to be creative and give players.
And then the other thing is, besides just player base, what other metrics are they going to be looking at to decide, yes, we'll continue fleshing this out?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point too. Probably just like the general feedback, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, how many users are in the Discord by ballpark? A few thousands? I don't think I'm in that Discord. I'm in a lot of random Discords. I don't think I'm in that one. My guess would probably be a few thousands, maybe. It makes sense to me.
It has 81,000 members on it.
Okay. Yeah, a few thousands then. Shout out to that.
34,000 are currently online.
Okay. Shout out to that. So, I mean, that could be your potential measuring stick there. You know, as long as people are looking at the server. They may not be looking at the server. So, I don't know. Either way. You guys got anything else that you guys want to chat about before we go to weekly wrap up? Zach, you got anything? Got anything, buddy? Oh, I got something for you.
Should I
Oh, no. I already don't like the question.
spend
No, I don't like this question.
for Naraka Gold
Oh, Jesus Christ, Zach. Not this again.
or Metaphor?
What are you going to do with Metaphor? You going to buy it?
Counterpoint.
You going to buy it again?
Why not both?
John.
I am the enabler of the group.
And firm card it is.
Zach.
I am the enabler until I ask the question. Then you are the enabler. That's how this works.
He's not wrong.
But no, the sum of it is I've been playing Naraka again.
I
Okay.
assume you mentioned a couple weeks ago that you wanted to get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess a firm card it is there, buddy. No, I
Oh
got.
no, not just for Naraka Gold. I can just pay that straight.
Well, yeah, obviously. No, Zach, I got a shout out for you. I thought this was so funny when I saw it.
What you got?
The Sony doesn't have IPs video I put up.
Okay.
Someone responded to it, and they agreed with every single one of our takes. By the way, so shout out to that. But they did include in their comment, "Fat Princess is fantastic," and I'm just like, shout out to this guy because it's not only you listen to the full video because that was literally at the end. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Somebody remembers besides me.
I saw that.
I did want to shout out that I saw a weird article that apparently for PS Plus or something, there's possibly going to get a not remakes but online versions of a Mr. Mosquito.
Oh no, we're not bringing this back too.
So I was like, cool. John got to wield backyard sports. I got to wield in Mr. Mosquito.
No, Mr. Mosquito can go away. Backyard sports makes sense.
Hey, how's it feel to know that we have the power? What have you willed back into existence?
I just want to be included. I don't think I've willed shit back into existence.
Shoot, John even killed a game.
It's true.
What did I kill?
Starfield.
It's true.
Okay, I didn't wish ill upon the game. I just want to get that out right now. I protected myself. I protected myself by also giving it an extreme vote of confidence for that year.
That is one of the best well-aged takes, man. Jesus Christ.
Man.
No, I haven't willed anything to existence now I think about it. You guys are leaving me behind, man. I got to figure something out.
Sometimes you just gotta aim for the stars.
Look, I've been aiming for my own set of stars for a while, and it's just not happening. All right, Banjo's not happening.
You eventually got Metroid Prime 4.
hey,
You finally dug that hole
But that
deep
was
enough.
happening regardless.
Yeah, you gotta aim for smarter targets.
That's the better way to put it. I'm aiming for the stars, but I'm not aiming for the smart ones to aim for.
I'm aiming for like
Realistic ones.
Every like 90 to 2000, 90 into early 2000s kids like nostalgic PC game of
Right.
backyard sports. You're trying to bring like Conquer back.
Never gonna
I
happen.
mean, I did it. I just chose one of the most prolifically random ass PS2 games to ever come to the West.
Fair, and the fact that it's now potentially coming back, that motivates me. That maybe something of random of mine's gonna hit one of these days. Okay. Also, speaking of that, it's like willing it into existence. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Bad fan here. Didn't know this till the other day when I was looking at flops. I did not know Conquer was considered like a commercial flop. Had no idea that. Did not know that. Did not know that.
I would not know that either, considering it got 3 games.
Yeah, no. Conquer's Bad Fur Day was considered a commercial flop.
Huh.
Yeah, no. It made the official Wikipedia flop list.
I mean, I could see that for what the time it came out.
Yeah, that was the whole argument. That apparently it came out like the very tail end of the N64 life, and it didn't take off because of it. It had
And it is a
terrible
very
sales.
mature game
It's very mature, very niche for sure.
for a Nintendo console.
Yeah, exactly. And then Live and Reloaded, it wasn't a flop, but it didn't like blow the world up or anything. But yeah, I did not know that though. Shocked me when I was going through. It was like that game is so fun. It's
I was about to say
it's
you
dumb
would
fun.
you would not know that based on nowadays how people reference it.
Yeah, no. When I saw that on the list, I'm like, what? It's like, what do you mean? It's like I look at I don't remember what the sales numbers for it was. It was bad. It was bad. Sales numbers for that game were not good. So I don't know. Shout out to that, I guess. So yeah, bad fan on me. Did not know it was considered a flop. But you know what? I guess between that and I guess between how terrible the young Conquer looked, I guess I understand why they're gonna leave that one alone. We're not coming back to Conquer. I can't believe someone thought young Conquer was a good idea. But anyway, you guys got anything else? If not, we can start going through the weekly wrap up.
Nothing.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. First thing, kind of interesting here.
I read that's this morning.
Kind of interesting. The entire staff at Annapurna Interactive resigned after dispute with the owner. Man, talk about a day at the office where everyone's just like, yep, fuck
That's
this.
not a day at the office. That's a company going, yeah, screw you, man.
Yeah, basically. Like, you know what? Respect. Like, respect. I started to kind of look into a little bit what it was about. Just, I guess, like a game direction, or it was a situation of, like, I guess they were being put to make a game that they just didn't want to do or something.
So they didn't want to be like...
They didn't want to. They want to make a Redfall, I guess.
Yeah,
Is
they
my
didn't want to be
vibe.
Arcane Austin.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that, you know. So I mean, hey, they read the room and they said, "Yeah, this looks bad. We're gonna lose our jobs anyway, so we're out."
You know, when I read this, because I read this myself as well, but like when you read it the way that it's phrased out here, like everybody resigns. I'm like, man, I'd have been the one guy to show back up to work because I would have been ignoring all my coworkers, right, and not replying to their messages, and been like, "What are you messaging me for? I'm off the clock."
Show back up to work the next day.
and go, "Where is it? Did I miss a memo or something?"
It's like, why is everyone's office is empty?
Oh, that would be you, buddy.
Yeah.
With your track record, yeah, that would be you. Oh man, I'm curious what's gonna happen to Annapurna now, because like we just had an announcement like a week ago, I thought, where them and Remedy are co-financing Control 2 or co-producing or whatever. I think it's co-financing.
I mean,
whatever.
The owner's still there. He can still co-finance.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any developers to work with.
They can't work on anything now. So I am like, if this whole situation is as true as the articles say, right? I want to know what the game was. I want to know what the game was that caused an entire studio to say not doing it, assuming that it was a game. Because I think that's what it was.
I just want to see the look on the like the
owner,
the owner's
Yeah,
face.
he's just like, no way this would happen.
Like he was probably laying his foot down, going, it's happening this way. You can either work on it or you can leave. And he shows up to work the next day and goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that."
Shoot, it may have not even been the next day. They may have all been, all right, we're leaving. And dipped out right then.
Let's see. Entire staff of beloved game reportedly designed. Negotiations broke down. I think it was. I just read from one article real quick that it was like apparently a spin-off game that they were talking about.
Yeah, they didn't want to dirty and muddy up their franchise.
Let's see. The gaming division of Megan Ellison's Annapurna has resigned after failing to convince Ellison to let them spin off its games division into a new company. All 25 members have collectively resigned. So there you go. That's the news. I don't know. I read somewhere I thought it was a game that they were not wanting to do. Oh.
See, in the article I read, it didn't even say specifically what it was about, just that negotiation broke down.
Okay, well, there you go. On another side of the business that's also crappy, Microsoft lays off another 650 employees at Xbox. And that's now over 2,500. God, I can't talk
Just this
today.
year?
Yeah, just this year. Just this year, 2,500 over at Xbox. Sucks. Dude, what the hell's happening? I saw one report as well, very understandably so, that apparently the morale at Xbox is extremely low.
Not surprising.
No, not with the amount of layoffs that they've had. Not surprising in the slightest. So, hopefully, everyone's able to get bounce back jobs, especially from some of the jobs that I saw was laid off, where it's like just a ton of like really kind of important support roles. Essentially, I'm sure they'll land something, you know. So, and hopefully they do. Apparently, Tony Hawk has teased that he and Activision are working on something for the 25th anniversary of Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk Underground 5.
Hopefully they're doing something cool. They're working to apparently do 3 and 4 combo pack. Didn't do that. So canned that one at the time. So, but he did say in an interview that he and Activision have been in communication. So shout out. Also shout out to this. This is random as hell. Flappy Bird is returning. Like what?
Here's a wild card for you, Alex. The game they're working on is with Telltale. It's a Tony Hawk Telltale game.
A Tony Hawk Telltale game. Is it going to be like on the journey of his life or complete like some sort of
Like
fictional
a
environment?
Tony Hawk Underground storyline.
Okay, all right, makes sense. I guess we'll see. I know you'd play it. I know you'd be all over it.
I don't know if I'd play it, but it would definitely catch my interest.
But yeah, no, Flappy Bird returning. So that's random. Okay, interesting.
I mean, Crossy Roads came back.
Yeah. I think Flappy Bird wasn't that the game, like the mobile game that where the
That
dev,
took over people's minds. Yes.
No, wasn't it the dev that like took it down because he got pissed off at the yeah. Okay, all right. Because I wasn't sure if that was Flappy Bird or some other game.
No, it was Flappy Bird.
Yeah, where the dev just said, "Yeah, fuck you guys," and just deleted his game. Okay, well, shout out to that, I guess. Nintendo announced a new Switch and Mario Wonder bundle ahead of the holidays. Hey, they got to move some Switch consoles before the Switch 2 gets announced.
I mean, Mario Wonder was a good game, so
It was. Already kind of, I think we shout out a little bit earlier. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero GT trailer was released, so shout out.
Still
to that.
not canon.
Everybody was very happy with this trailer.
As was I. No Super 17 though. You got Baby. You got Omega Shinron. Where's Super 17?
It's probably there. They're not going to show every motherfucking character in the game.
See, you say that, but like everyone's narrative around it is that they have shown every character. There's only 10 characters left to show. So I have no idea.
Maybe also you'll open up that character screen and it'll be bigger than that showed it so far.
I hope so. Assuming apparently the last 10 characters have already been leaked. I think it was a Japanese source just accidentally put out like the last trailer. They're like the last like full set of characters. It's just like Jesus Christ. So I don't know. I haven't seen what they are. I assume and hope that maybe some Dragon Ball characters will be in there. That's my because like
original Dragon Ball.
Yeah, like original, like OG. And it could be possible because I know like with how they have the character like screen laid out, like they're all like in conjunction with each other, like it's like forms and all that bullshit, whatever. And I know there's like one character slot where it's all surrounded by Goku. It's a Goku character for the 1M2. I was like, oh, maybe that's just Kid Goku from Dragon Ball. I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
or it's Kid Goku from GT.
Well, they added him. And he's got 3 transformations. So he's on there, and he's got all of his transformations.
It's going to be Kid Goku from the new Dragon Ball.
That's also what people said too. But he also has transformations.
Goku became another kid again.
Yep, everyone does though.
What?
Yeah. In Daima, everyone's a kid.
What?
Yeah. You got a kid. You got a Kid Piccolo.
You can't think about it too hard.
Yeah, you can't. You got a Kid Piccolo. You got a Kid Vegeta. We just finally got Goten and Trunks to grow up and now they're babies again. So shout out to that, I guess. Everyone's
yeah.
kid.
If you think about it too hard, then you get Goten and Trunks as kids when Goku's a kid and Piccolo's a kid.
Yeah,
it just loses all track.
Ox King's a kid. Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Shout out, I guess. Dragon Quest 3 HC2D has gone gold, so shout out to that. Overwatch 2 and WoW collab coming on the 17th. Overwatch is, I feel like they're desperate at this point to get anyone on the game in any capacity. Because they just did another collab recently, I thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd they do? Did they do a collab?
I mean, they just had their big push for their new character in Season 15.
I mean,
maybe WoW's the only collab they've done. I don't know.
No
Probably
offense, but
WoW.
who cares?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no.
The Overwatch community.
Yeah, that's it.
I know, but it's one of those where it's like,
Yeah.
they're just there because they're stubborn at this point.
Yeah, no, agreed. Steam Families has launched in the Steam beta client. So shout out to Steam Families.
What is this?
So it's a way to share games.
It's where you can set up a Steam family. So if you had multiple users in your household, you could share your account libraries with them.
Yep, it's kind of the same concept as like the home PlayStation thing, where between 2 PlayStations you can share digital purchases.
I already
between
do that though, without Steam Families.
No. Well, now it's like some new thing that goes up to like 5 people.
Well, it's set up to where you like if you
can do it remotely.
If you connect the accounts together, you can access the library without having to sign into that account.
Yes, that's what it is. And I did also see where apparently,
so it's like if like say like me and you were living in the same house or something, you could, if we set that up, you could have access to my Steam library and I could have access to yours without us ever having to actually sign into it.
Yep.
Okay.
And for the most part, because I did see where apparently their devs can make the choice to make their game eligible for Steam Family. So I'm like, okay.
So they can take it off too, then.
Yes, correct.
But it's been over time, more and more people have been accepting of that because it's like a couple years ago they came out with they did the update to co-op, like couch co-op games where most couch co-op games only one player needs to access.
Yeah.
But you can remotely tie into it even if you don't own the game.
Yeah. Thank you, A Way Out.
True. Same thing with...
They really did revolutionize co-op games.
Yes, they did.
They really did. Because, like, you know, they did it with A Way Out, and then It Takes Two as well. Because with It Takes Two, you can just download for free the Player 2 game.
Yep. That's how they did the Way Out.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to their next game. Next thing, Atlas could be preparing an HD remaster collection of some capacity of Devil Summoner 1 and 2 based on achievements that were found on Steam DB.
Cool. Summoner 1's hell is hard to find.
Yeah, so it'll be a good pick. You know, be a good chance to play these games.
All my first thought was what I sent you with that text sequence. Cool. Now my collector's edition will be worth more.
Yep, there you go. Pal World is set to come out for PS5 here soon.
Woo!
So shout out to that. I also saw where Pal World put out some like statement saying that their game's not changing.
Yeah.
Because there was some conversation that people kind of were talking about that it could potentially go like free to play or games as a service or whatever.
Yeah, live service, and they're like, no.
Yeah, that's not what the game was designed for. And for us to even try to switch it to that model would be a pain in the ass. So we're not doing it.
I think they said something along the lines of, if we changed it to a live service game, we could make more money, but that's not the point.
Yeah. So shout out to Pal World, man. It's a Pal W.
Still glad I backed that.
You were on that one early. And hopefully Dokev will be your next one whenever that comes out.
If we ever hear about it again.
Yeah, that one may just disappear forever. We'll see. And then lastly, I just had a Destiny 2 update. So, okay, neat, I guess. It's called Codename Frontiers. Their plan is 2 paid expansions per year, 4 major free updates per year. So you got the paid expansion Code Apollo coming out summer of next year, free season major update Codename Arsenal in summer of next year, as well as fall of next year you have Codename Surge, and then the next expansion you have is Behemoth coming winter of next year, with a major update in winter and a major update in spring 2026. Just kill the game, guys.
I can just go play First Ascent or Once Human.
Just kill the game. Like, can we just move on, please? Like, just please move on. We have the perfect bow of Destiny 2. You put the perfect bow on it, and now we're just gonna whatever. I mean, I get it. It's still a live service game. I get it, but it's like you put the perfect bow on it where you could have like worked to move on. You know what I mean? And here we are, still doing stuff. I don't know. It's annoying to me. It is. And then last we have Gamesthetic Game of the Week.
Okay, Gamesthetic Game of the Week. I'm gonna go with. I think it's. Let me double check the name. Yeah, Far Sky.
Far Sky. Okay.
Far Sky is a small scale, like, open world survival game, but it takes place under the ocean. It is not like it. I believe it's an older game. I think it came out in like 2014 or something. It's a very small scale game. You can complete pretty much everything in the game in 3 hours or less. It's like I said, it's very short. It came out before what's
Subnautica?
Yeah, it came out before Subnautica, I believe. It's just a like kind of an atmospheric underwater kind of survival craft game. There's there's like not a bunch of crazy sea creatures under there to scare you or anything. It's just a very like relaxing like underwater exploration game. Like I said, it's very short. There's not a whole lot of steps to go through. It's kind of just progress your way further and further down, which just is as you get to a new level, it's just collect the new resources that become available, go further down, and then you can go back. It's like the completion of the game is essentially collecting your submarine to go back to the surface. But it's just a very nice, relaxing underwater survival game. There's a bit of base building elements to it if you wanna play with that. It's not deep. There's nothing. This is just a short, good time of a game.
Yeah, just something to kind of turn your brain off, have a good
Yeah,
time.
it is very much a turn your brain off and just enjoy for about 2.5 hours or so.
Nice. Shout out. And what was it called? Far Sky?
Yeah, Far Sky.
Shout out to Far Sky. Gamestead Game of the Week. Another one wrapped up. You boys got anything else that you guys want to shout out?
Now remember, Alex, it's you next week.
I will do my best to remember.
Last thing that I'll mention is, gotta mention it every week. Deadlock had its big balance patch update. So new big list of patch notes that came out this week. Gameplay improvements, new everything. So if you're interested in Deadlock or if you play it and haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And I believe the servers are now on 24/7.
Oh, 24/7 servers. Shout out.
Either that is now or it's happening in the next patch.
Ooh, okay. Hey, big improvement. Game's still popping off. Love
Still
to see
invite
it.
only, though.
Yep, still invite only. It'll get there. Yeah, and when it does, it's going to really pop off. All right, boys, last thoughts. Go around the room.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Leave a comment about what you think the predictions for the rest of the games are. We're throwing in that we missed, and we'll maybe say something about it next week.
Yeah, do everything he said and more. And if you like what you saw here today with us, or if you're watching it after the fact, we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So come check us out then.
Make sure to also check out our Patreon down the link below. We'd appreciate that extra support, as well as the extra support. Check out some Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. You can also join the Discord, as well as just be a friend, tell a friend. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.